Hi Brett, it's me, Andre. It's Sunday, and I'm headed out to a gig to play a little piece that I made for a friend of mine, Daryl Taylor. But before I did that, I wanted to speak to uh, you and do a short description of the piece that you've commissioned from me, Cadenza and Aria. I know that you had asked me to do a little video chat, a little video introduction to the work, and this is a new thing for me, and so I'm going to be a bit awkward in talking to this computer screen, but I will do my best. One of the things that struck me about your playing is it's very muscular and very moving at the same time. It's at once really sensitive but also very strong. And so I wanted to find a way of working with that sensibility in a compelling way. And so that was the first thing that came out of our conversation from the Mexican restaurant a couple of years ago, the night after you played The Darker Skies Book 2 with the Halcyon Trio, because that was the night I think that the idea for this piece was born. And so what initially came out as I started to work was I was thinking about this person, this man who was really driven to find some sense of abiding peace, right? He was after a sense of peace. He was a restless soul. It's like this person just kind of stewing in his own concern and his own past, and really just sort of struggling very deeply with the nature of his life. And so what you have at the beginning of the work is formally a set of juxtapositions between two different types of musical landscapes. The first, just with the piano playing these very kind of probing and bizarre chords over which you have these what seem to be ramblings on the part of the viola, but in actuality is really some search for meaning within the chordal frameworks that he's been provided. Then eventually, when he's by himself, he has these moments of these soliloquy moments where he's able to kind of expound on his journey thus far. There's a motive in the work that comes back again and again, which is stated at the opening of the work, which is this kind of bell-like motive in the piano, and also within the viola. And so that's something that folks can be on the lookout for and listen for, sort of looking for that ideal piece that you hear or that you envision at the beginning of the work, but doesn't find itself anywhere throughout the rest of it. So that's kind of the statement. There's a statement in the opening of the work, which the violist and the pianist, I think, kind of aspire to find throughout the work, but they don't. Until the end, the aria portion of the work, I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that there is some semblance of peace finally after great struggle and great concern that the violist is able to find, but it looks nothing like the sense of peace he was expecting to find, or indeed that he was looking for at all. This sense of peace, instead of being kind of a broad, overarching piece that answers all questions, is rather one that sort of hobbles in, with a broken leg, and is meek, and is mild, and is humble. It's not the grand, huge piece of a master enlightened. Instead, it's a veteran's piece. It's the piece of a person who is no longer allowing himself to be killed by his questions. So that piece is represented in the music by this very slow 3/4 time, bum, dum, 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 this kind of hobbling piece that he plays along with. And it's meant to be a bit clumsy. It's meant to be a bit, just a bit awkward in terms of the tonal language. But at the same time, it's meant to sort of imbue a kind of authenticity within the listener, right? You're after, this is what you get, but it's ultimately sort of the thing that will allow for you to continue on and not be killed by your questions. And so I'm finding, as I'm composing more and more work for you, that these pieces take on a genuinely earthy element to them, that each work seems to, in its own way, struggle initially at the outset with some overriding existential question, and then ultimately come to some sense of ragged stillness at the end. I don't know why it is you bring that out on me, but for some reason you do. And so we'll see if we're able to continue that as I continue working on my concerto for you. 2015, knock on wood. Alright, so I hope that answers some of the questions and addresses some of the things that you were interested in me talking about on this video chat. Whoever is looking at the video chat, hello, I wish you good, and I will see you next time. Alright, take care.